All right, in the last video, we added a bone storage system. Now your farm is fully functional with the bone storage and the automatic crafter, but there's one problem. If you do not know how to do a storage system, your pickles are just dropping on the ground. Or if you want an idea on how to make your storage system better, you found the right video. We're going to walk you through how to build our custom shulker loader, which has some built-in server protection for those ghosted shulker boxes. We did drop a video about it. If you need help with the shulker loader, go check out that tutorial. But we are going to go ahead and get started. We are going to build this storage system off of our 16 module. Now, if you are building it off of the 8 module, you would do the exact same steps. You just may not need as many shulker loaders. So you can cut this in half if you are just doing it on an 8 module version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of my farm. If you have 16 modules, you followed our expansion video, we are going to go to the middle of the farm on the left. If you mirrored it, you could go to the right. It doesn't really matter. But if you're following it exactly, I'm going to the left. And I'm going to count out a few blocks. So standing right under my pistons, I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I'm going to place my first solid block of choice. I'll be building this out of cobblestone. Just for the schematic later, it's easier to get a hold of cobblestone than some other materials. But this can be any block of choice. Now that I'm even with my output and I have my starting point, I'm going to count out 8 blocks towards the opposite end of the farm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the maximum distance water can flow, and we will be using a water stream to collect our shulker boxes. You're going to grab some packed ice, place it down, and you're going to count out 8 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are going to add our packed ice once again, and we are going to carry it out another 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And finish it off with packed ice. We will be adding onto this to get to our storage system, but we are going to focus on the shulker loader for now. Now, don't worry if you're wondering where the pickles are going to output from. We are going to build the shulker loader first. That way we know where to output the pickles to. Instead of trying to figure out how to make our existing water stream match our shulker loader, we're going to build the shulker loader and then build an item stream. A quick note, if you are building in a base that has room to dig down for your water stream, then you don't actually have to place these blocks. This can be dug down into the ground. However, looking at comments and suggestions on our videos, one of the most frequently mentioned is, I didn't know I had to build down to collect my pickles. So as you can see, we have already elevated our farm. This could also be sunk down into the ground, but we elevated it so you don't have to dig down. So everything that we're about to do on this next step can be done at floor level if you are not too close to bedrock. The next step is to build a platform. We are going to place a block on our starting block. We are going to build out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in both directions. We are then going to build a platform the entire length of our starting row of solid blocks and packed ice. Technically, this could all be built with glass. Once you get to the very end, you are going to skip the packed ice for now. This is our exit. We are going to extend our platform out 1 block over, back 8 blocks. And then we're going to fill in this entire area. So again, if you are building this into the ground, it may be easier to just mark off your area to build in instead of having to use this many building blocks. But if you have built your farm too close to bedrock, this is how you would do it. So once you fill this in, we'll move on to the next step. So I will skip forward so you don't have to watch me place all these blocks. All right, now we have our platform. Again, we are using our own shulker loader design, so we will be having a pretty good size water stream to collect all of our shulker boxes. And the reason we're doing that is for hopper conservation. We are trying to minimize the use of hoppers and redstone components. Plus, this takes care of that ghosting shulker box issue. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves we're going to start building an outline. So go ahead and start at the side with your packed ice, and we're going to place a block down on that cobblestone or solid block that's by itself, and we're going to build all the way out 1 block past our platform. This is going to be a retaining wall for water. So go ahead and just outline your entire platform. Again, if you have dug down instead of built out a platform, you would need to build this part. This is going to be part of your barrier. On the back side of the farm, you are going to go even with your platform. We don't want to extend past this back side. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to section off our platform, and you're going to count over from this corner block. It's the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter. Count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the 9th block, we're going to place a solid block. Build it all the way forward until you get to your channel. Now again, the packed ice is for our water stream, so this will be a channel full of water, and this will also contain water once we get further into the build. We're going to do the same thing, sectioning off another 8-block area, so count over 8 blocks. On the 9th block, build a barrier towards your water channel. Your build should look like this. If you have elevated it up, you will have a 3-block tall platform now. If you have dug down, the barrier should probably be your first block, unless you dug out this whole area. Whatever is best for you. The next thing we're going to do is going to build out the base of our shulker loader system. Now, this is going to look a little complicating because of how many we're building, but if you need help on an individual shulker loader, refer back to our shulker loader tutorial video that we just released. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build up the outer wall 1 more block in height. You could do this when you're building out the initial one, but I just find it easier to build it separately. Now we are going to continue building up, but we are going to integrate some redstone, some redstone components into the wall. So this is just getting your platform ready. And if I didn't mention it before, everything I'm doing on the right side of the water channel, it's an exact mirror image on the left side of the water channel. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to find our center platform for our shulker loaders. Now the easiest way to do that is to find your water channel and count over 1, 2, 3. On this 3rd block, we are going to drop down, place a block. So again, 3 blocks from our water channel, and then 1 block next to that. We're going to extend this all the way towards our wall until we are 1 block shy of this wall. We're going to go ahead and build up the wall. And we're going to do the same pattern. 3 blocks over, for a total of 2 blocks. We're going to build it all the way until we get to the wall. And then we're going to build up the wall. Whoop. And one last and final time, 3 blocks over, add them until we get to the outer wall. Now, on the opposite side, obviously it would be on the 3rd block and then 1 block in. Now we are going to be building some server protection for our shulker loaders, which we will do. Let's go ahead and do it now. This will make sense if you have already watched our shulker loader tutorial. But we are going to build out a platform in front of the one we just built, right next to our water stream. We're going to go the same length on both sides, ending 1 block shy. And then we're going to place a solid block at the end connecting the platform. And then we're going to find the middle, which is going to be 2 blocks on each side, and connect it. So your platform is now going to look like this. And we're going to do that on all of them. So build out on the inside, closest to your water channel, 1 block shy of your platform, and place down 2 solid blocks. One last and final time, building all the way back, 1 block shy, and adding your center blocks. Your platform should look like this. We are going to do the same thing on the outside wall for our, we're going to have 4 rows of shulker loaders. So on the outside wall, we're going to go ahead and extend this out 1 block. So starting at the corner, we're going to skip the corner and build out 1 block all the way down. Once you have that wall extended out, we are going to do the same pattern that we have on the inside, but on the outside. Since we don't have a wall extending, we are going to build out 2 blocks. And then we are going to mirror identically what we have on the inside of our farm. So coming all the way to the same location and adding a solid block and cutting it in half. So this outer wall is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 2 blocks connecting the outside and 1 block connecting the inside. All right, this is what your platform should now look like. We are going to finish up the same platform on the rest of it. Again, it will be an exact mirror. So starting on your wall, we're going to build out 2 blocks. On the outside, it's going to be a total of 7, so we'll add 6 more. We'll connect the outside corners to the wall and place a solid block in the middle. And we'll do that one final time. 2 blocks out, total of 7 blocks, connecting the outside and the middle. And we're going to do this on both sides. So that's why we had to count out as many blocks as we did, because we will still leave 1 block space to keep our redstone components from our shulker loader separate from our farm. All right, now your platform should look like this, and we're going to start adding the redstone components. So starting on the side of the farm that we placed our first block on, we are going to drop down, and we'll go ahead and start in the middle next to our solid block, or our starting block. We're going to count forward 3 blocks. So from the channel, it's going to line up with our platform. 1, 2, 3, place down a repeater on a 2-tick. We are going to turn around and place a comparator facing the opposite direction. And we're going to leave it in the default mode. We don't need to do subtract mode or anything like that. Next to our comparator, we are going to place a redstone block. And then we're going to repeat this pattern all the way down. Repeater on 2 ticks, comparator, redstone block. Repeater on 2 ticks, comparator. Now when you get to this gap, the easiest way to place your redstone block is to crouch down and just place it right into the side of the comparator. We want to leave this gap so we can access under the shulker loader. It's not strictly required. It just helps you when you're building it, and it helps troubleshooting if you ever have issues. But if you need to place a temporary block, that is perfectly fine as well. So we are going to repeat this pattern all the way down. Repeater, comparator, redstone block, all the way to the end of your platform. So I will go ahead and start working on that. All right, and as Colin is going to be demonstrating, the opposite side is going to be an exact mirror image. You will still start with the repeater on the outside of your shulker loader, but your pattern will continue the same, just mirrored. So if you are looking at your platform and you have redstone blocks that are staggered from each other, that means that you did not mirror it. So make sure that you have both repeaters on the outside wall, followed by a comparator, followed by redstone blocks, all the way down. We're going to go to the outside where we built our platform, and we are going to start the same pattern, again, mirrored from the side that you're working on. So this one is going to be redstone, comparator, repeater. Redstone, comparator, repeater. Now make sure that you are always placing your repeater on a 2-tick or your shulker loader will break. And then when you get to the end, we are going to finish it off with a repeater. So your pattern, again, is going to be the same. It's just the direction that they're facing. So from the outside, all of your redstone components are going to line up perfectly. Your platform should look like this. We are going to now add some observers. So you are going to hop down into your farm, and on the back side of your repeater, you are going to have your repeater powering, or rather an observer looking into a powered repeater. Observers can't technically be powered. So the observer face should be looking at the repeater, and we are going to place an observer in front of every single repeater. Make sure you don't do that. The repeater does need to be looking at the face of the observer, or again, vice versa. The observer needs to have its face looking at the repeater. So do this all the way down, making sure you don't mix up the repeater and the comparator. And you're going to do this on both sides. So on the opposite side, the same thing. Place down your observer right in front of your repeaters. Now the next step, we are going to grab some solid blocks, and we are going to be building up our wall yet again. We are going to start on the side with the exit. We are going to place down a solid block, and we are going to run it all the way until we are even with our observer. We are going to connect the wall to the observer. We're going to continue to run it back, and then we're going to connect it to our observers. And then we're going to place a solid block in between each of the observers all the way down. Now when you get to the wall that you start on, this observer is going to be powering a dispenser. So we are going to skip a block on this outside wall for now. And then we are going to continue connecting our observers along the inner shulker loaders. All right, your platform should look like this. Now, again, you should only have solid blocks in between the observers, leaving a space on the outside wall. Again, that will be for our dispensers. Next thing we're going to do, it's not super tricky, and you could add a solid block below it, but there's no need for it. I'm going to crouch, and I'm going to place a solid block into the front of each of my comparators. I'm going to do this on both sides of my farm. Placing the solid block in front of each comparator. All right, now we are going to connect all of our repeaters together. So grab yourself some redstone dust and place redstone dust behind your repeater and just connect all of your repeaters together with redstone dust. Each repeater should be connected to 2 additional repeaters, so they will be in groups of 3. And you will do this on all 4 sides. Now, I won't go into too much detail, but this redstone dust is part of the server protection for your shulker loader to help with those ghosting shulker boxes. Oh, I missed a redstone block. If you are building this massive shulker loader in a single-player world, you do not need to add the redstone dust on the outside of your farm. For more information, see our shulker loader tutorial. Now, the next step is going to be adding some additional solid blocks on top of our redstone dust. We do need to break the connection from additional components, so make sure you are using a solid block at this point. We do need solid blocks. So place a solid block on the redstone dust behind your repeater. Place a solid block on the redstone behind your solid block that is sticking up from your comparator. And you're going to place a solid block on the opposite side, 1 block over from our observer. So 1 block opposite or next to our observer, 1 block on the redstone dust behind your repeater, and 1 block on the redstone dust behind your solid block. And we're going to do this all the way down. If there is not a continuation of your redstone dust, you don't have to place a solid block. These blocks on top of our redstone dust is simply to break the connection that we will be adding here in a moment. So make sure you add your solid block up and diagonally from your observer on top of your redstone dust, and we're going to do this all the way down. We are going to do this on all 4 rows of your shulker loaders, so we are going to continue that process. Solid block, breaking the connection. If you need to reference the opposite side, it is going to be an exact mirror image. And breaking the connection for our redstone. All right, now this next step is probably the most tedious. You could use solid blocks or temporary blocks and do it differently. But what I like to do is directly in between these 2 blocks that I said was going to break a redstone connection, we are going to place a piece of redstone dust. So if we didn't have these solid blocks, they would connect down. So we want to make sure that we have these solid blocks there, or our shulker loader is not going to operate the way we want it to, and you will fill up your storage with empty shulker boxes. So this part is extremely important. So place down redstone dust on this solid block on all of your farms. Do the same thing on the outside, keeping in mind that it is a mirror image. All right, we have added our redstone dust on the solid block, and the reason I said this part is a little tedious is because now we have to hop down and we have to crouch and place an observer looking at the redstone dust. Now, if you are not crouching, you will just change the orientation of the redstone dust. So we do want to make sure that you are crouching and make sure the redstone dust is highlighted. If you aim up too high, you'll just place it on top. So that's why I said it's a little tedious, but it's a lot easier than having to place a bunch of temporary blocks and breaking them later. Once you have added all the observers on your middle 2 rows, we are going to do the same thing on the outside, keeping in mind that it is going to be mirror imaged, so your observer will be facing away, but it will still be looking into the redstone dust. All right, now that we have all the redstone worked out for our shulker loaders, we have our platform. It's time to add the dispensers. So hop inside of your farm, and this is why I said it's best to leave this part broken out so we can access it. As of right now, if you're on top, you could just drop in, but you will be able to access this even after it's built. So go to the side of the farm that we started on. So this is our starting point in between our two farms. You are going to go into, and it'll be the same on both sides. So Colin will do this side, I will do this side. We are going to look at the back wall that we started on, and we're going to place a dispenser into the side of our observers. When you place it down, the dispenser will be looking towards you, and you're going to do this on every single one of the observers that we just placed. Now, if you need help with the orientation, the dispenser will always look towards the redstone block. So that pattern earlier, repeater, comparator, redstone block, that is one shulker loader. So the dispenser will always face towards the redstone block. So hop down, and you're going to have 6 dispensers per water channel. All right, your farm should look like this. All of your dispensers should be facing in the same direction, and they should be facing in the same direction on both sides. Technically, you could reverse it, but I won't confuse you with that. So now that we have our dispensers in place, we are going to add hoppers and a chest on top of each one. This is how you will load shulker boxes into your system. So go ahead and place a hopper into the top of each of your dispensers. You will do this on both sides of your shulker loader on every single dispenser. Once you have added the hoppers, we are going to crouch down and place a chest on top of each hopper. Again, this is where you will load your shulker boxes. Do it for every single hopper. All right, we are about to add the secret sauce that makes this shulker loader better than other shulker loaders. So the first thing we're going to do, and you can start on any of the chambers, it doesn't matter. Hop down, and we are going to place a fence gate in front of each dispenser, and we're going to open it. Once you have your fence gate, we're going to place a sticky piston on the side of your chest directly above your fence gate, and we're going to place a top slab on the sticky piston. The top slab, again, it needs to be a top slab, meaning that it can't be on the lower half of your block. It does need to be on the top. With this configuration, with this shulker loader, you will have access to the contents of the shulker loader without having to break it. It will only work if you have the fence gate placed under the dispenser and open. If you don't have that, it will just dispense the shulker box sideways. So add your fence gate, sticky piston, and top slab on each of your shulker loaders. All right, now the next step, you could use a temporary block, but if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I'm not a fan of using temporary blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and preload some of these, or all of these chests with shulker boxes. You only need one, so go ahead and open up that chest and add at least one shulker box. But if you have them available, you could go ahead and fill them up. All right, we have added some shulker boxes into each of our chests, which will funnel down into our dispensers, and we are ready to dispense them. Now, there is one final piece of redstone component that you need to add, and the reason I wait till the end to add it is since this is a sticky piston being powered by an observer, if you were to accidentally click the redstone dust or activate anything early, it could spit out that top slab and the system would be out of sync. So what you are going to do now is on the block between the sticky piston and the observer, we're going to place a piece of redstone dust. Now it does need to be in the plus shape pattern. If you accidentally click it, it will not work. You can see it's being powered, but nothing is happening. So make sure that it is in the plus shape pattern. If you are building this on Bedrock, you are playing by Java rules in DonutSMP. If you right click it, your redstone dust will be in the dot, but you don't have the texture pack to see that it has changed state. So be very careful not to double click. So place redstone dust on each block between the sticky piston and the observer. All right, once you have added your redstone dust, it is time to add a button to enable us to manually dispense the shulker boxes and replace them if you needed to jump in and fix something. The button is going to go right on top of the solid block, caddy corner from our observer, not the one on the outside, the one caddy corner. So place a button on each of the solid blocks, caddy corner from the observer. We're going to do this on both sides. Again, not the outer block, not the one in front of the observer, caddy corner. And you can see Colin has already jumped in front of me. He pressed the button, but press a button, and each set of 3 shulker loaders will dispense a shulker box. Now you'd only have to press one button per chamber. When you are troubleshooting your shulker loader system, the button will, and I'll just demonstrate, when I click the button, it will simply break the shulker loader that you are pressing the button for and dispense it down. The only time it will dispense a shulker box, and that's a good, here, let me just break this one. This is a good demonstration for a ghosted shulker box. So if that shulker box was ghosted, I press this button, which will simulate this shulker box filling up and breaking, and it will replace the one next to it. So that's how that works. Go ahead and press the button on each of your loaders on each side of your chamber. All right, now you should have a shulker box ready to go on each of your shulker loaders. We are going to drop down into this water chamber, and we're going to place a hopper into the side of the shulker boxes, obviously the sides that are exposed. So you're going to place 2 hoppers into each shulker box. And you're going to do this on all 6 chambers on both sides. All right, now that we have our hoppers pointing into our shulker box, we are going to place a chest on top of the hopper that is in line with your sticky pistons. And we're going to do this on all of our shulker loaders. So it's going to be down diagonally from the shulker box chest. This chest is going to be kind of an overflow for pickles. So as your shulker box is breaking, the chest can continue to fill up, and it will help us align everything. Oh, I missed one. There we go. Now the next step is adding hoppers into each of our hopper and into the back of our chest. So our shulker loader is going to have hoppers on top of hoppers, and then a hopper into each chest. And you're going to have a little 2x2 platform of hoppers. You're going to place hoppers into the hoppers, and then 1 hopper into each of the chests. Now, when you have a gap like this, what I typically do is I will go back and add hoppers into the hoppers pointing into hoppers to give it a little buffer. That is not required. If you are limited on the hoppers that you can use in your base, you can put a solid block here. But I like more hopper capacity, so I go ahead and add hoppers into the ones pointing down. And I'm going to do this on all of my shulker loaders. And then I'm going to finish it off with 2 hoppers over the wall. Again, the hoppers, they're not required. They will feed a hopper that is already collecting pickles, but this does give you more hoppers to pull those pickles out of a water stream in the event that it skips over. And that is going to be it for our shulker loader for now. All right, now it's time to turn our attention to the water stream for the pickles. We are going to hop down, and we are going to grab a bucket. You'll need an infinite water source nearby to fill that bucket. We are going to start on the middle exit. Now, in between each farm is an exit for your pickles. We are going to direct half of the farm into one bubble column and the other half of the farm into another bubble column. The first thing we're going to do is find the center of our farm. Now, the farm is 15 blocks in width in total. From the outside to the outside, it's 17. You're going to count in 8 blocks. Now, the 8th block is going to be directly in between the 2 innermost farms. So if you find the 2 columns and you can see a clear path, that is your 8th block. Of course, you could always count. we are going to break out these two glass blocks or solid blocks for now. We are going to add a row of blocks at the bottom. I'll be using glass, you can use solid blocks, and we're going to go all the way until we reach both outside fence gates. Now the fence gates are the outermost exits, and we are going to place a bucket of water directly under the fence gate. So if your farm is missing these blocks here, they do need to be there, so make sure that you have a full wall all the way down. Place your bucket of water inside of your exit directly under your fence gate, and you're going to do this on both sides. You are going to exit the exit and you're going to build out a platform until the water stops flowing. So it's going to extend one block out. You are going to need packed ice for various parts of this water stream. Anytime we use packed ice, I would highly, highly recommend you use packed ice as well. It isn't necessarily required, but pickles can get stuck. So as the water ends, we're going to place packed ice, and then we're going to add a fence gate on top of it and make sure that it is open. We are going to add glass blocks on the side to act as a barrier so the pickles don't spill out. We are going to extend this from the packed ice. We're going to extend it right up until the next exit. The next exit is where the fence gates are. We are going to place packed ice one block before the exit, and we're going to connect it with another layer of blocks. Colin, if you could go ahead and close that side in. He's going to add blocks all the way up to the packed ice. I'm going to go ahead and place a bucket of water in front of my fence gate before I add my blocks so I don't have to purl in later to add it. And then when I get to the packed ice, I'm going to add a fence gate and open it. We are going to do the same thing on the second exit, except this time we don't have any blocks pre-placed for us. So find your exit, place a block right next to it, and then start building out your platform at the bottom. And we're going to run this all the way to the opposite side, placing a block on the outside of your fence gate until you have a platform that extends all the way along the bottom. From our first water stream, we are going to add barrier on the side. And then I'm going to place a bucket of water under each of the outside fence gates. Once you have your bucket of water, we are going to add barriers on the outside and extend it all the way until we get to the middle. So it's going to be even with the packed ice. And the same thing as the middle, we are going to place down 2 blocks until the water stops flowing. We are going to repeat this one more time to get to the outside exit. So find the center of your farm, place a piece of packed ice one block shy of your exit. Connect. Oh, I didn't add my packed ice. Connect your 2 pieces of packed ice. And then add your fence gate, open it, and your outer barriers. Again, I like to place my bucket of water first so I don't have to go back in later and do it. And then finish it off with the fence gate in the open position. Now the outside exit is done slightly differently since we are sending them towards a bubble column into our shulker loader. We are going to find the outside exit. Again, this is the side that is not connected to another pickle farm. We are going to place a block down just like before. We are going to start adding glass blocks or whatever block you're using, but we're only going to go out 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to place a piece of packed ice. We're going to extend the glass all the way until we are even with our pistons, and then we are going to add packed ice, add a fence gate on both packed ice blocks, and open them. And just like before, we are going to add barriers on the back side. And do this on both sides, if you could finish that for me. Now, on the outside farm, we are still going to place a bucket of water underneath our exit. We're going to add the barrier blocks to contain all that water. And I just killed my water source, so let's try that again. And you'll see that the water stops flowing at the 8th block, which we can actually remove this to show you that it's not extending beyond it. We want to make sure that the water is flowing under an exit. So if you started the water too far back, the pickles will drop down on the packed ice and get stuck. If you did the water too far forward, they will fall down into nothing. So make sure that the water does start underneath the last exit. We are going to extend our barrier. We're going to add water on the block next to your fence gate, and then finish off a barrier until we get to the fence gate. This is going to be our bubble column, so we are going to add a piece of soul sand right in front of our packed ice. We're going to add a block all the way around, and that is going to prepare us for the water stream into our shulker loader, which we will get to in a moment. Let's finish the rest of the pickles first. All right, now the next half of the farm, since we are sending the middle exit to the left, we only have to extend the inner exit out one, so we don't have to do anything here. Now, every time we build a water stream, we inevitably break our redstone circuit. If you wanted to protect it a little bit, you could add some blocks here. The way we build it, we try to keep it from spilling over, but if you're worried about that, you can go ahead and add just a little barrier to protect it. Now, same thing as before, we are going to add a block, one block outside of our last exit. We're going to connect it to the opposite side, one block down from our last exit. And this is what I mean, we try to protect it. I'm going to do my barrier all the way around. And then when I add the water, it shouldn't be able to flow back and break your clock. But just in case, we can add that row of glass. Same thing as before, we are going to run the barrier all the way to the middle of your farm. And add 2 blocks. Grab your packed ice, place it in front, add your barriers, your fence gate, open it, and do everything that we did on the opposite side. 1 block shy of our exit, we're going to add packed ice. And if you did what Colin did, you don't have access to your stream and you have to break the block, but make sure you have water there before you build your barriers. Fence gate, open, and now we are on the opposite exit. This is going to be an exact mirror image of the side we just did, so let's go ahead and add a block on the outside, running towards the front of the farm, towards our shulker loader. Adding packed ice at the 9th block. Glass all the way up to the piston, and packed ice. Add your inside barrier. Add your fence gates. And lastly, add your water. Alright, we are going to start on our bubble column. We are going to place our soul sand in front of our packed ice and start our column walls. Alright, now both sides are identical for the starting point of our bubble column, so Colin will do that side, I will do this side. We are going to start at the block that is level with our soul sand. We are going to build up our bubble column until it is level with our hopper. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do this on all 3 sides. Now on the side with the fence gate, we are going to build it up 1 additional block. So place a block on top of your fence gate and build up to the 5th block, and then we'll add a 6th block. Again, it is the same on both sides. However, on the side with the 3 exits, we are going to be placing the 6th block on the outside. So this will be this will make more sense when we build out the water stream, but on this bubble column we want it exiting towards the opposite side of our farm, and on the right side we want the pickles exiting towards the side of our shulker loader. So hopping onto the outside platform, we will take these one side at a time. We are going to extend out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be in line with our 2 hoppers. We will add packed ice towards our hoppers, and we will add packed ice on the opposite side going away from our bubble column. We are then going to add more glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to add some packed ice, and then we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 packed ice and glass. Your farm should, or your water stream should look like this. You are going to connect your hoppers to your water stream. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for the first one. And on the second one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what is going to happen is half of the farm, or at least 2 of them, will exit the bubble column and they will go to the outside shulker loaders. They will continue down the shulker loaders, and if the shulker system is full or out of shulker boxes, we don't want those pickles despawning, so we are going to loop it around into the opposite side. The same will be true for this set of shulker loaders. On the side that has 3 exits, we are going to get them into the shulker loader faster. They will enter the shulker loader, and if they are not picked up by the hoppers, they will exit out onto the opposite side. So that is how we are going to build this out. So from the side that is exiting towards the side of our farm, we are going to build this out from our column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, packed ice, and then we're going to turn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, packed ice. And just like before, we're going to connect the 2 hoppers. So place your glass on the 2 hoppers and extend it out 1. For the return system, we are going to go out, we are going to go out 2 blocks. We are going to place a piece of packed ice, and then we are going to extend this out a total of 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to turn from our double platform. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, packed ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't quite do 8 because we need the water stream, so we're going to stop at 7 packed ice, and then we are going to connect it. And that is going to be the basic structure of our water stream. All right, if you were able to follow that complicated pattern, the next part is pretty easy. We are going to add barrier blocks for our water. So starting at the outside bubble column, since I said we are exiting towards the side of our shulker loader, we are going to build up the 2 sides of our column to be even with the one over our fence gate. And then we are going to extend the outside all the way until we are 1 block past our platform. And then we are going to turn until we are connected to our sticky piston. So the outside is extremely easy. The next one is going to connect to our sticky piston as well. So we can go ahead and start there until we are 1 block shy of our water stream. This is where our water will go. And then we want to connect the 2 together. Same thing right here. We are going to start at the sticky piston. We're going to build all the way until we are 1 block shy. And then we are going to do the same thing over here. Sticky piston, 1 block shy, and then just connect the 2 sides together. Now, whenever you have packed ice, we do need a barrier for the water that does not have a hitbox so pickles can pass through. So we are going to place down a fence gate and open it on every single piece of packed ice. All right. Now, let's go to the other side. All right. Now, this side is going to be slightly different because of the way the water will exit the farm. So what we are going to do is we're going to start on the inside. We're going to skip the outside for now. So on the chest, we're going to place a glass block, and we're going to end it 1 block shy, and we're going to run this all the way until we get to the chest, just like the sticky pistons on the other side. We are going to connect it, and then we're going to carry it forward all the way until we get to, until we get to our water stream. Now this one is going to be a little bit cramped for space, so we had to add 2 walls. So we're going to start at the chest, and we're going to wrap ourselves around. And we're going to go and connect that to our bubble column. Now on the outside, we are going to go ahead and add our outside barrier. And we're going to take it all the way until we get to the end of our platform. Again, we will address this outside area when we do the water. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the water. But before we do, let's go ahead and add our fence gates. Whenever there is packed ice, place a fence gate down and open it. Okay. All right. All right, we are just about ready to add all of the water. Before we do, we're going to talk about the inside of our shulker loader. We are going to be using iron bars to item align. If you've watched any of our videos, you'll know what I am talking about. If this is your first time, it is extremely easy. Instead of item aligning with iron bars on both sides, we have a natural barrier for the most part. We do need to cover these gaps. So whenever there is a gap, go ahead and place a glass block. And you're going to do this all the way along your shulker loader. We don't want any of this water, and actually I'm going to start on the other side. It's a lot easier to place glass on the side of a sticky piston than it is a chest. You are going to do this on both sides, so Colin has done that on his side. Now, I use glass for a lot of my item streams just because I like to watch the items, but when it comes to the inside of your water stream, it is going to be on top of a chest. So if you already have access to the shulker box, but if you wanted access to the chest, it does need to be a transparent block. This cannot be a solid block, or you will not be able to open the chest to see if there's any erroneous contents in there. So keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to the water. All right, to get the water stream going, we are going to start at the bubble column. Now the easiest way, oh, I missed a block. I've been doing that lately. All right, the easiest way to get your water or your bubble column started is to simply place water on the top block of your bubble column, hop down, and add some kelp. The kelp will convert the water into a solid block. So hop down, break the kelp, and you will shoot out of the bubble column. Now you could just add 2 blocks on top to keep the items from shooting out, or you can waterlog a trapdoor. Like that's what we're going to do. We're going to place a trapdoor even with the top of the block, and the items will hit that trapdoor and start flowing. Make sure you don't place it too low. If you place it too low, the items will get stuck. So if you use the trapdoor method, make sure it is the top block. All right, you will see that the water is going to flow straight. This is for the loop back in case the items make it past this set of shulker loaders. So we're going to add another bucket of water in front of our fence gate. Another bucket of water in front of our fence gate. This time we are going to add a chest. Now this is going to be item aligned between the 2 hoppers so both sides can pick up from the same water stream. To item align, we're simply going to use a chest and then we are going to waterlog it. Now be sure to make the barriers. Make sure you have barriers in place, meaning the glass blocks, so you don't mess up your redstone components before you do that. Alternatively, you could already start the iron bars, but just make sure that you don't mess up all your hard work. So the items will flow in. Well, don't fall off. The items will flow in, they will hit the chest, and they will be perfectly aligned over our hoppers. To make that possible, we are going to use a barrier that does not have a hitbox that your pickles will hit. So they will hit the chest and they will skate beside your iron bars all the way down your shulker loaders. Now we are going to zigzag these. Every time the water stops, we are going to place an iron bar in front and we're going to go down 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to come back and we're going to add a bucket of water on the hopper that the water has stopped at. You will see that the item will exit one water stream and will continue into the next one. And we're just going to do this all the way down, zigzagging. Add your buckets of water. All right. Now, the reason I said we were going to get to this outside wall a bit later is whenever you have an item that is going in between 2 blocks, if we tried to place a glass block here, the items will clip the side of the glass block and they will not continue across. So instead of using glass blocks and trying to manipulate the water, we're just going to continue to use iron bars all the way to the end. So by adding iron bars on the outside, when we place water in front of our fence gates, the items will exit the hopper aligned water stream. It will enter the new water stream and then it will turn. If you used glass, it would just stop the items from flowing. So go ahead and add water. Add another bucket of water in front of your fence gate, and then add another bucket of water in front of that fence gate. Now you'll see that it is turning to the left because it is trying to get to the lower block. Once we add water, it will turn to the right. Now the reason I said we are kind of pressed for space here, we want the loop back to enter the same water stream that our items are coming from. So instead of being able to use a single block, we do have to add a barrier just like that. So the water will loop back around, and then we will item align like we did before. So Colin is going to jump down, and he is going to create a bubble column using water bucket and kelp. All right, he now has a bubble column. He is going to place a trapdoor on the top block to make sure those items don't fly out. And you will notice that we now have an equidistant water stream that are converging at a corner. So what will happen is, since this water is flowing and this water is flowing, they will naturally turn together. So we don't have to do any kind of packed ice and fence gate trick here. They will turn just fine. We're going to add another bucket of water after the fence gate. And then we're going to do the same item aligning trick we did on the first row. We're going to add a chest, and we're going to waterlog it. And just like before, we're going to place down 8 iron bars in a zigzag pattern. All right. Now, as he is adding the water to our item stream, I'm going to call out that, again, we do have to have 2 blocks in width because the items will be flowing in between the hoppers. We don't want to have a solid block for them to get caught on. So once they exit, if they exit your shulker loader system, they will loop back to the other side. All right, we now have pickles exiting our farm. They are now being loaded into shulker boxes. Now we've got to put those shulker boxes somewhere. So hop back down into your shulker loader. Like always, whenever we have packed ice, we're going to place down a fence gate and open it. We are going to start on the back side of the farm with the full wall, and we are going to run all of our shulker boxes towards the exit. I'm going to place down a bucket of water in our water channel. I'm going to place another bucket in front of our fence gate. And one final bucket in front of our fence gate. All right, the next step is to go into your chamber, and we are actually going to add a bucket of water on the back of the wall, making all the water flow towards our center water stream. The way I do it is I typically start in the corner with 2 buckets. I place 1 bucket in the corner, skip a block, place another bucket, and then I refill my empty buckets from the now infinite water source in the middle. And then I just go all the way along the back side until I have a fully waterlogged back corner. Water flows a maximum distance of 8 blocks, so all of your shulker boxes will enter this item stream in the middle. And we will do this in each of the shulker box chambers, making sure that your water is placed on the back wall, flowing towards your water stream. And as I am down here placing my water, I notice that we still have a gap underneath the hoppers between the dispensers, just like the back wall. We're going to go ahead and just add 2 blocks. That way no shulker boxes are tempted to pop out and get stuck on your wall. So let's go ahead and do that while we're down here. Colin, if you could get your side as well. Make sure that we have solid blocks in between each of the walls, and we have water flowing to our water stream. It is the same on both sides. Obviously, the side opposite of where I was just at, the water will be flowing in the same direction towards the center channel. So if you have placed all your water and it looks like this, you have done everything correct. All right, now Colin is going to actually place a solid block on one of the water sources on the back wall. If your shulker loader system looks like this and there is a block that is missing water, that means that one of the back items does not have a water source. So you do need to make sure that you have an infinite, or not infinite, but a water source on the back of each of the blocks. If you place it every 3 blocks like I had mentioned previously, it will convert it to a water source. So you shouldn't have that issue, but if you see a couple where the water ends, that is what is happening. All right, now the last thing to do is to add a storage system. So we are going to go ahead and build out a little storage system real quick. So I'm going to just start on the side of the farm. I'm going to do 1 block away from our water stream and just add a couple double chests. Skip 2 spaces, add another double chest, and I'm going to build towards my shulker loader exit. And you want to leave a couple blocks because we do need to turn and item align it. And you can extend this as far back as you want. you can do the entire length of the farm. Since we are adding pickles into shulker boxes, the storage is going to be 27 times larger just due to the fact that we are storing pickles inside of shulker boxes, and then we're storing the shulker boxes inside of chests. So this doesn't need to be super big. And whenever I do a shulker loader system into a storage system, I only ever go 5 chests in height total. The reason I do that is because I have easy access to all of the chests without having to climb ladders or purl up. So just this part is completely up to you on how many chests you want. We're going to just do 5 tall. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, that was a happy accident. We're going to do 20 in length and 5 tall. All right. So this is completely customizable. You can build as many or as little storage containers as you want. We are going to do 20 in length and 5 tall. Go ahead and add a hopper to the inside of all of your chests on both sides. And you're going to continue that pattern all the way up. It is going to be identical for the rest of it, so we will go ahead and skip forward a little bit. All right, now that that boring part is out of the way, we are going to create a 2-block platform coming off of our hoppers. So I'm going to do that all the way until I am even with my shulker loader exit. So it's going to be a 2x3 platform based on where I place my storage system. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build out I'm going to continue the water stream until I am just underneath my outside barrier for our pickle item stream. So that's actually going to be packed ice. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 packed ice with the fence gate on top and open it. Go ahead and add yourself some barriers and add a bucket of water on the outside of your fence gate. This will flow into a bubble column, so you will need soul sand. And then we're going to build up walls just like we do on all of our bubble columns. They just need to be level with our platform, actually 1 block higher. The front side will be level with the platform, just like that. And we will use the barrier of our pickle water stream as the outside of our bubble column. Go ahead and add barriers on either side for where your water will exit. And then we are going to item align with a chest. So on this side, the water should be flowing fast enough to where items don't get stuck here. But if you're worried about that, we can replace this with packed ice. Fence gate and open it. Once your bubble column looks like this, we are going to add a barrier on the side of our chest and on the side opposite until we are even with our chests. So Colin, if you wouldn't mind making that a bubble column. And we'll do the same thing as before with the trapdoor. And we will do the same thing with our chest. We will waterlog it. Before we do that, now you can do the zigzag method like we have done in past videos. We're going to show you something a little different this time. We're going to go ahead and just extend the glass all the way on top of our chest. That way you don't have to use as many iron bars. Iron bars are typically cheaper as far as materials go. So it's entirely up to you on how you want to do this. And then when you get to the end of your storage system, just cap it off so the water doesn't flow anywhere. All right, we're going to grab our iron bars, and we are still going to zigzag them on the inside of our glass blocks. So water flows a maximum distance of 8, starting at the chest. So I'll go ahead and waterlog it. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with the 8th block being the fence gate. And we're just going to go back and forth until we have a water stream all the way to the end. All right, that is your storage system complete. The only thing left to do is test it, so give us just a second. We will fill this up completely with shulker boxes, and we will be right back. All right, that is the final episode for the Duck V4 tutorial series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you plan on using this shulker loader system in your base, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. If you have experienced the ghosting shulker box issue, we would love to know if this fixes the problem for you. If you have questions about the shulker loader system, check out our shulker loader tutorial. We have specifically carved it out for this shulker loader. If you have any questions or you need any help with your farm or your storage system, come join us at our Discord. There will be a link in the description. We have a team of mods that are currently working tickets as fast as they can. I am also working tickets, and so is Colin. So we would love to see you there and help you out with your base. As always, I am CD3 Daddy.
And I am C3DG Minecraft.
And we will see you in the next video.